According to the court file, Brittney and Cherelle Griner stopped living as a couple on July 24, 2026. 6 days later, Brittney filed for divorce, requesting joint custody of their 2-year-old son and calling the marriage irretrievably broken. No fault is alleged, neither woman has spoken publicly. But this filing, coming after one of the most extraordinary crises in modern sports, may reveal more than any statement ever could. The petition was filed on July 30, 2026, in Fulton County, Superior Court, Georgia. This public record names Brittney Griner as the petitioner and Cherelle Griner as the respondent. Within the paperwork, the core legal ground rests on a precise phrase: the marriage is irretrievably broken, and there is no hope of reconciliation. In Georgia family law, this terminology carries a specific, non-accusatory meaning. It represents the standard statutory language required to obtain a no-fault divorce. The court does not require either spouse to prove marital misconduct, infidelities, or assign blame to dissolve the union. By choosing this path, the filing establishes a clean process focused on the dissolution of the legal contract rather than personal fault or public recrimination. The clerk's office processed the paperwork as a civil family law matter, meaning these files are fully open to the public. Because neither party has made a public statement, the court record remains the sole source of verified information, preventing speculation about their private lives. Subscribe to our channel for more objective coverage of major sports and legal stories. According to the court records, Brittney and Cherelle Griner had been living apart with no intimate relations since July 24, 2026. This specific date establishes that the formal, legal separation occurred exactly 6 days before the divorce petition was filed with the Fulton County clerk. While the public often views high-profile marriages through the lens of public appearances, the legal paperwork grounds this transition in a strict, real-world timeline, moving the focus from celebrity headlines to the private realities of a family structure in transition. At the heart of this legal process is the couple's 2-year-old son, Bash Raymond Griner, who was born on July 8, 2024. In the filing, Brittney Griner requests joint physical custody of Bash on both a temporary and permanent basis, asking the court to establish a parenting arrangement that serves the child's best interests. The petition also asks that child support be calculated in strict conformity with Georgia's domestic relations guidelines. By centering on custody, parenting time, and financial support, the filing frames the dissolution not as a public dispute, but as a standard Georgia family law procedure. It is a process structured to provide stability and continuity for a young child. For a family that endured an extraordinary international crisis under intense global scrutiny, this transition represents a turn toward the quiet, highly regulated legal frameworks that govern ordinary domestic lives every day. Long before their lives were analyzed through court dockets and international headlines, Brittney and Cherelle Griner built a foundation rooted in a shared history. The two first connected as undergraduate students at Baylor University in Waco, Texas, where Brittney was establishing herself as a dominant force in collegiate basketball, and Cherelle was studying communications. After graduation, their connection deepened, leading to their marriage on June 18, 2018. As Brittney's professional career ascended in the WNBA, Cherelle pursued her own career in law and education. Together, they navigated the unique demands of high-profile athletic success, relocations, and the steady building of a shared life. In July 2024, that shared life expanded with the birth of their son, Bash Raymond Griner. For the couple, the arrival of their first child was a deeply personal milestone, celebrated with quiet pride and public expressions of gratitude for the journey of parenthood. This period of early family life, centered on the everyday joys of raising a young boy, represented a quiet reality. It was a partnership defined not by the intense public scrutiny that would later surround them, but by the ordinary day-to-day rhythms of a family navigating the world together. On February 17, 2022, the quiet rhythms of their shared life were interrupted. Customs officials at Sheremetyevo International Airport near Moscow detained Brittney after discovering vape cartridges containing cannabis oil in her luggage. She had been traveling to Russia to play for her off-season basketball team, UMMC Ekaterinburg. The arrest transformed from a sports headline into an international standoff. Following a trial, a Russian court sentenced her to 9 years in a penal colony, transferring her to a detention facility in Mordovia. While Brittney remained isolated in Russian custody, Cherelle took on a prominent public role. For 10 months, she led a visible campaign to secure her wife's freedom. This effort required her to manage national media attention and the demands of international diplomacy. Cherelle gave televised interviews, spoke at press conferences, and worked to keep Brittney's name in the public eye, resisting the risk of her case fading from view. Her advocacy eventually moved into the highest levels of the United States government. Cherelle met with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in the Oval Office, lobbying the administration to designate Brittney as wrongfully detained. This official designation shifted the government's approach, placing the case under the jurisdiction of the Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs. The diplomatic negotiations resulted in a high-profile prisoner exchange. On December 8, 2022, the United States traded convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout for Brittney's release at an airfield in Abu Dhabi. After nearly 10 months of separation, Brittney returned to American soil and reunited with Cherelle. Throughout this period, Cherelle served as the public voice for her wife, while Brittney remained the individual at the center of a historic geopolitical emergency. Neither Brittney nor Cherelle Griner has issued a public statement regarding the dissolution. In an era where personal milestones and crises are routinely broadcast on social media, this collective silence shifts the focus entirely to the Georgia court record. Yet, that record remains strictly administrative. The divorce petition contains no allegations of marital misconduct, infidelities, or personal grievances. Under Georgia law, the paperwork simply satisfies the statutory requirements for a no-fault dissolution. It confirms that a legal partnership is ending, but it deliberately withholds the private reasons why. By choosing a quiet, procedural path, both women have kept their personal motives entirely out of the public eye, presenting a managed transition rather than a public battle. Subscribe for continued objective coverage of sports and legal stories. Psychological studies of relationships undergoing extreme stress document a recognized pattern. Couples who endure an all-consuming external crisis, such as a sudden, high-profile trauma or a prolonged period of separation, often find their bond tested in unexpected ways once the immediate threat subsides. While the shared danger is active, partners typically unite under a single, urgent focus: survival and resolution. But when ordinary life resumes, the intense focus shifts. This transition can expose structural strains that were temporarily sidelined during the emergency. This clinical observation serves as general context, not an explanation for any single marriage or the filing in Fulton County. It simply shows how couples nationwide manage the quiet, challenging period of readjustment after the storm has passed. As this legal process quietly unfolds in Georgia, the public record remains our only factual boundary. This standard, no-fault filing reminds us that some chapters must be closed in private, far beyond the public spotlight. Subscribe for more objective, in-depth stories.